Welcome, dear followers. Today, the continuation of the book by Dr. Jan Kwaśniewski. You can see him on my left. What is the optimal diet based on? When this book uses the word diet, it doesn't mean it in the way that normally comes to mind. It doesn't mean giving up certain foods and eating habits for a limited time until a target is reached, then going back to old ways. This diet, the optimal diet, is how each person can and should feed him or herself, whether sick or healthy. It is a diet to follow for life because a person should always eat in a way that best fulfills his or her body requirements for building blocks and energy. The optimal diet does this, so whenever we speak of optimal diet, we should think of it as the best, the optimal way of nourishing ourselves, meaning feeding our bodies the things they need to do their jobs efficiently. The optimal diet is a high-fat one. To follow it, you must consume a lot of fats, since they are the basic and main component of food. Protein should be consumed in a ratio of 1:3 to the amount of fat eaten, and the amount of carbohydrates should be no more than half the amount of protein. Thus, the ratio of protein, fat, and carbohydrates should theoretically be in the range of 1 to 2.5 to 0.5 to 1 to 3.5 to 0.5. If you consume the most biologically valuable kinds of protein, those found in egg yolks, liver, and kidneys, your body's need for protein falls significantly, so 1 gram of protein will be suggested for each gram or so of carbohydrates. It is best to try to consume about 0.8 grams of carbohydrates per kilogram of body weight per day and eat fatty foods. The food you buy and cook should combine these 3 fundamental components together in the proportions given above. To be able to do that, it is necessary to know what kinds of foods contain fats, which ones protein, and which ones carbohydrates. There are very few products that are purely one component. The only foods that are pure protein are egg whites, gelatin. There is protein in eggs, meat, cold cuts, milk and dairy products, and giblets. Vegetable products that contain protein are mushrooms, peas, beans, sunflower seeds, almonds, cocoa, soy products, and nuts. Pork and goose lard, cooking fat, olive oil, and refined cooking oil are almost pure fats. Other fats contain a certain percentage of other components, including protein. For example, bacon fat is only 83.7% fat. The rest is protein and water. Butter is 82.5% fat, and margarine is 82%, etc. Oils and margarine are vegetable fats. As well, nuts, sunflower seeds, soybeans, coconut flakes, almonds, peanuts, pistachios, and poppy seed contain plenty of vegetable fat. Carbohydrates are sugars by another name. They are found in all grain products. Sugar itself is also a carbohydrate. This goes for all its forms: confectioners, white sugar, honey, and the fructose found in fruits and vegetables. This means carbohydrates are found in all floury and sweet products. Refined beet sugar is the only pure carbohydrate. Honey 76.5% and potato flour 83.9% are high in carbohydrates. Most foods are a combination of those 3 components, and dishes and daily diets should be selected to keep to the proportions given above. Later you will find out how to do this. It must be emphasized that the proportion 1 to 2.5 to 3.5 to 0.5 is not an iron rule. Assuming that proteins and fats are animal source, such as ratio guarantees a body's proper functioning during the initial stages of optimal dieting. Once the body gets used to its new diet, which happens after 2 to 3 weeks for healthy young people and after 6 weeks or more for older people, its demand for protein and energy falls. Then the proportion between protein and carbohydrates, given as 1 to 0.5, changes to 1 to 1 or even more in cases where the biological value of the protein is high. There may be certain variances from this principle depending on the dieter, his environmental conditions, and the sicknesses he suffers from. So, for example, overweight people, if they are already losing weight on diet, can and should in the first month reduce the amount of fats to 1 to 2 grams per gram of protein, as they are also intensely burning all their own fats. This is why the optimal diet is the best possible weight loss diet. An adult who is still young and healthy and very active both in and out of work should increase his or her fat intake to even 5 grams per gram of protein, since this person is no longer building up his or her organism but needs plenty of energy. A child who is growing and developing is going to need more protein than an older person for whom protein only has to maintain his body status quo. Too much protein can even be undesirable. The optimal diet has caused a lot of controversy because it goes against practically every accepted and propagated nutritional scheme. Let's compare. Animal fats are commonly considered to be a cause of many serious illnesses, and so it is recommended that they be restricted or even eliminated from one's diet. I, on the other hand, recommend that they be the cornerstone of our daily food intake. Vegetable fats, for example, plant oils are said to be better than animal oils. I, however, show that they are worse. Large quantities of fruits and vegetables are suggested. I reduce them to a minimum. Other doctors suggest that products high in fiber, for example, Sprouts bran, be consumed to clean out the digestive tract and prevent constipation. I consider fiber to be rightly an ingredient that is undigestible and therefore inedible by humans and unnecessary in our diet. Further differences between the optimal diet and the official nutrition model will become apparent later along in this book. Thank you for today's listening. See you.